Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Leading Minds podcast. I am your host today, Courtney Jerome, and with my co-founder,
Shazad Parvez.
Today we have Anuj Sareen on the podcast, and we are going to be talking about the science of one's self. So, over to you, Anuj.
Hi, nice to meet you all today. So
Thanks
thank you
very
for
much for coming
inviting
on.
me, and it's a pleasure to be here today and talk to you both.
One of the reasons why I wanted you to come on, right, was because obviously we've had many discussions about power of the mind, mindfulness, about our inner self, and coming back to my own journey, which obviously you're very familiar with, I know. That kind of helped me to get out of those dark times and enabled me to find a way out of the darkness. Now, you message me every morning without fail, right? And I always get 2 or 3 messages from you just to realign my mind and check myself. When it comes to the science of oneself, how does that link back to you, and how would you describe that in your own personal journey?
Okay, so having seen the world for what it is, and we need to we need to link within our inner selves. There is a control system within each and every one of us. There's something within us that we need to bring to the front, which is ourselves. So we need to we need to meditate regularly. We need to sort of install principles. We need to control the mind. The mind itself is the most delicate part of oneself, and it's such an important part of who we are. And we the mind is like it's like a wild horse, and we need to sort of get on top of it, make it work for us as opposed to it controlling us. We have to control the mind.
So would you go as far to say that if we have negative mindsets, or we're suffering from depression or anxiety, a proportion of that, obviously some of that could be medical, but a proportion of that is linked back to exactly what you've just said?
For sure. See, depression is a part of the world and a part of life. A lot of people suffer from it because their mind is not strong enough. I mean, my father, he suffered a lot from mental depression, and I grew up in a household where depression was, it was there. So that made me even more stronger. It made me realize that, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to have, this type of mind. I saw it around me. So it was there, and it was part of my life. And that gave me more of a drive, I think, going forward, to sort of not have that mindset and realize that the more you remain in a positive mindset, it is going to help you in your life. And positivity in everything you do is number one. And then you must get to know who you are, and getting to know who you are, is through an inner journey. You need to, meditation is a very big part of my life. Every single morning throughout the day, I will try to sort of keep my mind focused on, the spiritual side, or the inner self, the divine side of myself, and keep my thoughts clean, keep my in everything, because the world is challenging. It's going to keep hitting you with various things where you can think in a positive way, or you can think in a negative way. So I like to keep myself in a completely positive way, and it helps. And you can deal with life, and you can deal with yourself better.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the meditation, that's something that I really want to get into a bit more in depth with you, because there's people that I've spoken to about it, and when I've tried to do it, and people interpret meditation differently. For me, it's not sitting there, legs crossed, humming. For me, it's when I am out in nature, walking my dogs, and I am just completely on my own, and I'm breathing in fresh air, I'm seeing greenery and beautiful landscapes, and that's where I'm able to clear my mind and, like you said, get in touch with my inner self and be present, I guess, at the front of my mind So what would you say is meditation?
Okay, so meditation is simply getting to know oneself, really, really getting to know oneself. And you need to install a routine. You need to do a fixed routine of 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening. You need to know what you're doing in meditation. It's actually just a clearing of your thoughts. And what you're trying to do in meditation is just connect with your inner self. So when you sit for the first few weeks, it's going to be tough because there's going to be all these thoughts keep coming to you. They're going to keep coming, but you need to have there's a mantra behind all this. So you need to have a mantra. You need to know what you're doing in meditation, otherwise it's pointless. You can go mad. It's a waste of time. So again, meditation needs to be focused, and you need to know what you're doing again. So that is something that we could discuss if you wished, and
Yeah, definitely,
I
definitely.
think you touched on a couple of things that relate to each other. One of the first things that you said was we need to find out who we are.
Yes.
And that resonates with me personally because I went through a time when I didn't know who I was. I really didn't. I was following this facade, and at that time I felt like, yeah, this is who I am. I do this and I do that, and this is my personality.
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't until I let's use the phrase for want of a better one, started my journey and started to meditate and took that time out every day that I actually realized not necessarily who I actually was, but realizing who I wanted to be.
So very good. And I think that what we're trying to do with meditation is achieve stillness. We need to bring stillness within the mind. So, once you start clearing out the mind, start clearing out, there's so much dirt, so much rubble within each one of us, so many thoughts. Every day we have 20,000, I think it's 20,600 thoughts per day. And we need to reduce them. They're just no good. So we need to have thoughts which are positive thoughts, correct thoughts, which are, working for us, not against us. And what we need to do is, the way we need to do that is unlock the key within ourselves by getting to know the knower. So there's someone within every single one of us, which is the self. So that is who we really are. We are within, as they say, human being. We are the being within the human. So we need to sort of work out, separate the mind from the body, from the five senses. All of these things sort of we need to do by an inner journey. So I'll give you an example of when we sleep, everything rescinds. There is nothing. We are dead to the world effectively. There's no body. There is no mind. There is nothing. There is nothing present. But after a few hours, we come back to the self. So there is something with each one of ourselves, which is the self. So we need to get to know that self, and that comes by a clearing during meditation, regular meditation. You will start to find peace. You will start to see things that they don't matter so much. They just don't matter. They don't hit you so much.
Yeah.
You
So
create
this is like the science of oneself, which is exactly what we're talking about, which is what you're touching
Yes.
on, and meditation would be an aspect of that. And we're going to touch on the other aspects of what the science of oneself is. Let's say, for example, someone out there wants to take that route down meditation and wants to start that journey. What would be your best advice to them?
My best advice to them first would be to keep it simple. So I would ask them every single morning, each morning they shower, they freshen up, they do not touch the mobile phone. This is very important.
Yeah.
The mobile phone cannot be touched. As you awake from the sleep state, you come into the waking state. These are states we'll discuss separately.
Yeah.
So you're now in the world. So what I'd ask you to do is quite simply take a shower, freshen up, sit for 20 minutes on your own in a corner, and just turn the gaze inwards. Look at yourself. Start to sort of, look at who you are. Spend time with yourself. And it's going to be tough. There's mantras out there that exist that you can sort of keep them simple, use that mantra to sort of focus on that, and that's how the journey should begin. So you can sort of do a 20-minute exercise each morning, simple meditation, and then enter the world, go into the world, and you will see your day will be far better. Each and every day that you meditate, you'll become less and less thoughts will start to happen. And all your problems, all your worries, because they're going to keep hitting you during the meditation. That's what's going to hit you. All of those things are going to keep hitting you.
That's right.
And they're going to say, oh, I've got this problem, or I've got that worry. I need to do this. I need to go to that. And I need to go here. That's all that's going to exist. Keep trying to drag you away from your inner self, because that's the mind's job.
Yeah.
It wants to keep you in that mixed up zone.
Yeah.
Right. So what you need to do is build an inner system. You need to create this defense mechanism, and we all have this defense mechanism. It's inbuilt within each one of us.
But we need to activate it.
And we need to activate it. Where there's a radio signal out there, that's being broadcast, and we just get captivated in the world. We get captivated in money. We get captivated in, we think that all these things, everything matters, but really and truly nothing matters apart from yourself.
Yeah.
First, you correct yourself, correct your being, correct your mindset. The rest, it will fall into place.
Yeah. With meditation, one of the hardest things that I found right at the beginning was the clutter.
It's very
and
hard.
the noise.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of noise.
And it's so hard to be able to sit still for that duration of time. And it takes some mental endurance.
You have to fight.
To be able to do that. You have to fight it.
You have to fight, because this is years and years and years of thoughts, years and years and years of unsolved thoughts that are around in your head, in your subconsciousness. They're still sitting there, and they need to be cleared out. It's like, let's suppose you have to dig for spring water. You have to go down to clear waters. You have to dig first down.
Yeah.
The rubble has to be removed. So during meditation, you are removing the rubble. You are clearing the thoughts. You're clearing the mind, and it will just be a natural process. But you have to stick at it.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and it's scary. There's thoughts that will come out that you never even knew that were inside you. And you sort of, but they have to be removed. Yeah. And once they are removed, you will start to find your deep ocean within yourself. You will start to feel your consciousness. You will start to feel who you really are. And, and then once you gain that connection, and once you've tasted the self, there's literally, you want more and
there's
more.
There's no going back.
You want more.
Once you start, yeah.
So people sort of forget that they are important. They get blinded by so many of the world's desires, ego, lust, greed, all of these things. There's so many, there's so much out there. The world is full of this.
Yeah.
But we forget that we're simple beings. All we want is simple peace of mind.
Yeah.
We don't really want anything else. And life is simply a love story, your own love story. It's to find your own, to love yourself. You must find how to love who you are, accept who you are. Don't fight. There's no reason to fight. It's such a temporary world,
Yeah.
And we're in we're in a movie where we are the actors, the directors, and the producers. So we must learn to sort of learn to know the actor, get to know the knower.
Yeah.
So get to know who you really are, and that can only come from meditation. There is no other way.
Absolutely. You touched on states of consciousness.
Yes.
So let's go back to that. Just describe what that means and what states of consciousness there are.
Okay. So there's 3 states. If you agree with me, you've had dreams in your life. You've also agreed with me, you've had deep sleep in your life.
Yeah.
You also agree with me that you're sitting with me here today.
Yeah.
During those states, there was something present.
Yeah.
Tell me what that was. That
Energy?
was the self.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you was the witness recording that dream, whatever that dream may have been. There was something present there, right? Which is sort of alien to you now, but there
Yeah.
was something there.
There was something there, yeah.
So there's the wake state, the dream state, and the sleep state. So all of these states exist within yourself, and that's sort of, in terms of states is where I see it. But we spend most of our time in the awake state. If you look at it, we only sleep for a little bit. But so we sort of we think that this is the world and this is everything. We forget there's other worlds within us that exist.
So
Now,
would you say then that you have to teach yourself to be present in every single one of those states? So from let's talk it from a sleep perspective, right? You're saying that is a state in itself. So would you say that there is some level of control that you could have while being in a sleep state?
what will happen is that you will, as you get to know yourself and you progress in a journey, you will start to feel differently during your sleep. You will start to have more peaceful sleep. You will start to be more aware in your sleep. You will start to things will start happening within yourself. You will start to feel different. You will if you think about one important thing, God has given God the super consciousness. For me, God is one. We are God. And he's gifted us with sleep. And if we didn't have sleep, what would happen? It's sort of, we would be finished. This is where he takes us away from the world for a while. And we sort of, no matter what we do, we could be so tired. But in the end, if a deep sleep comes, he just takes you. You're gone. So if he wants, you can just go and you're gone to another world. So that world is part of you. What I would ask people to do is focus and remember their real inner self. Like, try to sort of understand the world is this, you are this. Everything coexists. So, yes, I think an inner journey is very, very important.
Let's take someone now who is, let's say, lost.
Yes.
From life itself.
Yes.
They have no direction. They feel they have no purpose. From a job perspective and just anything.
Good question.
How do you, from a really simple way, how do you map out something for them in order for them to have a sort of light bulb moment and be like, okay, it's not as bad as what the situation I'm in at the moment.
Okay.
I want to improve on that.
It's a good question, and what we have to remember in life is everything comes in opposites. So where there is night, there is day. Where there is happiness, there is sadness. There's opposites in many things. Where there is truth, there is lies. So you have to have faith that these days will pass too. So you may be in a dark place at this moment, but I promise you, it can all change and it will change. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in the super consciousness that exists. Again, I relate it back to meditation and an inner journey, because only through meditation can we clear the negativeness, can we clear and still the mind, so we can actually find work and magic starts to happen, because you actually are putting it out to the universe. Hey, universe, it's my time. I've had enough. There's nothing more I can do. It's now time for me to focus on myself. I am going to meditate, and then I'm going to clear my mind, and the world will open up. It will just open up. It does. I mean, I was proof I was lost, so I know what it's like to be completely lost and then be completely the other way. And that was through an inner journey.
So it's all about taking that first step. which is pretty much what we keep pushing out every time, is you've got to take that first step of your journey, and only you can be responsible for that. But there are ways and means to achieve that inner peace and be appreciative of oneself to have positivity in your life. Now, you just touched on yourself being in a dark place. You touched on how obviously your father went through depression, which would have had an impact on you, seeing that at such a young age. Let's dig a little deeper into that. What did your dark phase look like?
I had given up. I mean, I literally, I didn't really even want to carry on. I thought, it was sort of, there was nothing, the world offered me nothing. There was no, it was just darkness, gloom everywhere. I didn't feel like getting out of bed. I sort of, I was completely negative. I was bitter. I was full of anger, full of all of the bad things, as they say. The things that are going to just keep you in that lower self. So I was lucky enough to have met a spiritual master in 2018 who changed my life, and he introduced me into spirituality, Advita, knowledge of oneself, the science of oneself, how to clear out the negativity, how to sort of understand the world for what it really is, and understand you for what you really are, because only you exist. If you close your eyes, everything is gone, but you can still see, there's still a world. So there is an inner self that he was like, he helped me to reconnect with myself, and I follow his teachings up until today. I don't stop, and his teachings are simple, clear. Connect with your inner self, spend time with yourself, look at who you are. That's all. Keep it simple. Just start looking at who you are.
When you look back at that turning point of when obviously this teacher's appeared for you, do you think to yourself, I was really lucky to be able to find somebody like that? Or do you believe that we need to have the intent first to be able to move forward?
I think that we need to surrender fully within ourselves first. Surrender within inside, internally. You have to, if you're at such a low point in your life, all you can see is black. All you can see is doom, gloom. It reflects in your eating habits. It reflects in how you treat people. It's a complete depression, and it's a very, very tough place to be. So I would simply start by searching, by saying within myself, that's it. I have had enough now. There's nothing more I can do. Please help me. And the help will come. But you have to surrender, and you have to say, that's it. I can't deal with this anymore. That's it. And you have to cry from the soul. You can still think that things are going to change, keep being in the world and being in this depression. It's a cycle. It just keeps you in. But you have to break the chain.
It's like they say, when the student's ready, the teacher appears.
Precisely that. I mean, I actually started at the beginning of 2018. I started looking for answers. I started searching. The world wasn't offering me anything. There was nothing there that I had. There was no feeling I hadn't felt. There was nothing I hadn't seen in the world. No, I'd seen money, no money. I'd seen, there's nothing. I'd lost all my family members because of it. I had, everything. The devil, effectively, that exists with each one of us had taken over. Everything was a mess. And I cried out. I cried out to the universe. I started looking for a guru, effectively. I started looking for a master that could help me get out of this situation. I was, and sure enough, someone appeared. It will just happen by magic. It will just happen.
When you're in that malaise and you're suffering, and it's almost like nothing tastes right in your life. Everything is just totally negative. Um, why did you choose to look at a spiritual journey rather than another entry point for your recovery?
I actually didn't look for anything. That's the thing. When I started, I had just given up. I had no, I had, of course, like we all have religious teaching. I was born of Hinduism. But I remember as I was growing up, I used to go to mosque as a child, and I used to go to church, and I used to go to all the different religions, and all of them didn't offer me anything. For me, it was more about what the spiritual side of each of the religions, the good side of each religions. And for me, so yeah, religion didn't offer me anything. Um, I I sort of wanted more. There was far more than the world than just this religion. A religion for me is man-made. It's sort of So there's the science of oneself is what I got involved in. Advita, um, getting to know who you are. You are God. So religion teaches you that you're always sort of scared of God, and God is separate from yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas spiritualism or spirituality will teach you that you are God, and God is within yourself. Everything is within yourself. So, and that what appealed to me.
Yeah.
And it sort of really, hit the nail on the head, because it's sort of, that's all I wanted to know, is get to know myself, fall in love with myself again, feel myself again, because we forget to feel who we are.
Yeah.
It's all feeling. The world is feeling. Everything is feeling. So feeling is number one. And again, do that inner journey. Don't, things can change for you, but you have to want change. You have to want to rise. At the moment, I know, it's a very dark place for you guys, whoever's in depression. I know, I've been there, how hard it is, but believe me, it will change. Have faith, look for some different answers, and just give yourself up. Just give it up fully, give it up.
When you say give it up, I love that, because I think you have to put yourself in that vulnerable position and be open to many new things. There's going to be a lot of people out there, spirituality, meditation, no, it's all rubbish, it's not for me. But and I understand why. People are resistant to change. They're resistant to new things that they don't understand necessarily. What I find fascinating about you is that you didn't even look for it, and it found you. So what I would love for you to try and get across, because I was one of those people myself. I was like, spirituality, it's a load of rubbish, it's not for me. I think we're going to have a further conversation once we finish this podcast, so I can learn more about the art of stillness and clearing my mind, because that is something I've struggled with. And I think, like I said, my interpretation of meditation has been slightly different, and there's many people I've spoken to about it, and they've said, well, it could be the opposite to what you've said. So I would love to understand better of how you could encompass it in all its different facets. From, like I said, for me it's walking the dogs and being out in nature, but for you it's it's having a shower 20 minutes in the morning. So what I want to know is I'm not saying one is better than the other. What do you feel gets the best outcome? Is what I would say.
Stillness. The more we can achieve stillness of mind, the divine side of us can open up. We will, we need stillness. Stillness is the absolute key to everything. When we meditate, it is simply to achieve a still mind, to become thoughtless, to go into a complete state of where nothing exists. That's all you're trying to do, and then you will just feel euphoric. These are start state, and then they will reflect on your day. You will see that how your day, you will have time for everything. You will have time for everyone. You will have an inner patience. You have the ability to be calm. You will not react. It's hard to not react to people. It's hard. The world, you will this will all start to appear within yourself, and they will come naturally. You don't have to do anything. All you need to do is simply get to know you. You have to respect yourself.
You need to strip yourself back first.
Yeah,
right?
you have to go back to where you came from.
Yeah, that's right.
So you have to go back to you're going to where the thoughts are actually created from. So now when you travel within, you'll get to states where you'll realize the mind is separated from you, and you're actually going to the source of you. You're going to the source of where thoughts are created from. Once you can target those zones and get into those zones of yourself, and you will be able to achieve anything in life.
It's like you say, anything. It doesn't need to link back to a religion per se. It's more a practice of positivity.
That's all it is.
Yeah. That's what
quite simply it is. You are reconnecting with who you really are. I mean, take yourself back to when you was 10 years old, 9 years old, 11 years old. You had the feeling of yourself. You actually felt yourself. You actually knew who you were. When was the last time you did that? Lots of people have forgotten who they are. You need to reconnect. So get to, and when you meditate, all of a sudden you'll start getting shocks. The self will start saying, wow, you remembered me. I've been sitting here waiting for you.
I love that.
And you finally remembered that I exist. And you're not just in the world every day driving your cars, enjoying holidays, in whatever the world gives you. There's also me. I'm also here. I was with you through the whole journey. I was with you at the beginning, your dark times, your good times, but I've been here for you. So let's reconnect. Let's get to know each other better. And then when we get to know each other better, everything will work, because then we will be free. We'll be liberated. It's only me and you that really exist.
Yeah.
The way you put that is perfect. That's really resonated with me.
And that links back to the fundamentals of Advita.
So Advita is simply just a word. It's a science of who you are, and it's sort of like a simple way of life, and a simple controlling the thought. Everything begins with a thought, So your whole world, it starts with a thought, then it moves on to your actions from your thought, and then that's how your life becomes. So if your thoughts are clear, your thoughts are clean, positive, you will become that. You will become free, light. You must merge with your higher self. So within each one of us, there's a lower self and a higher self. They both coexist. So if we choose to remain in the lower self, which is the dungeon, where all the problems are and worries, they all exist within each other. There's also another state which is peaceful, but we have to rise, and we have to understand that the world is temporary. It's all very, very temporary. Any pleasure, anything you get from this world is temporary. The only true happiness you can get is from your inner soul, your inner being. And and that can only come with practice of accepting you. Talk to yourself. Don't be scared. People are scared to let this voice open up. Let that inner voice open. It is who you are. It's talking to you. It wants to talk to you, wants to connect to you, but we choose to shut it down.
Talking to you about this kind of brings me back to my own experiences which I've talked about before, where I used to have 1,000 thoughts in my head, negative thoughts, and each one of those thoughts had an additional negative thought attached to it, 100 negative thoughts attached to it. But when I actually reached that point of accepting those thoughts for what they were, that's when I started to be able to deal with them and control, not control them. I don't think you can control them per se, but you can manage them.
You named it, because that's what problems and worries are. They are thoughts that have gone unanswered. They are thoughts that are just spinning around in your mind. And what you need to do, you're absolutely spot on. So what you need to do is each thought needs to be controlled. We need to get into states of as less thoughts as possible, because they're pointless.
Yeah.
It's just pointless. The more thoughts, it's just rubbish. It's all nonsense, all ego. It's all just absolute, nonsense. And we all we need to do is just be clear-minded, bring ourselves back to who we really are, be good, do good, be humble, do good all the time, as much as you can. Give without wanting anything back. There is no, because everything will come to you. Your goal in life is just to achieve love, love, love. That's all it is. Become love, and then you will love everything.
But the love needs to start from your inner self.
Yes. So first you must connect with who you are. You must go within yourself. And don't be scared, because it's frightening. The mind will try and stop you. It's the ultimate deceiver. It will, before you know it, it will take you away. It will take you back into problems and worries. But no, bring yourself back. I would like, people to sort of, within each, there's mantras within each religion. Within Christianity, there's Amen. Within Islam, you could use Allahu. Within Hinduism, you could use Om Namah Shivaya. There's various ones that you can use just to still the mind. So an example I can give you of that is, if you look at an elephant, and just leave it running as it is. It's constantly moving its the trunk.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens is that once you give the elephant a stick, you are now able to control the elephant. A simple stick in its trunk will control the elephant. You are now able to use the elephant to do work for you, to be able to do. Your mind is the same. Your mind is swinging left and right
Your
constantly.
mind is the trunk.
Okay.
But then what is the stick?
The stick is a mantra. So a simple, can be anything. You can use your own. You can make up your own if that's what it is. Whatever resonates with you.
Yeah.
But you must spend 20 minutes with that mantra yourself every single morning. And for me, it's every single evening too. If you can start to do that, please do that too. You will find your world change. You will find an inner positivity will just be born. It will just start naturally flowing, because now you yourself are allowing positivity to come in. You're allowing. You have to make space within yourself. If you keep all the crap within yourself, or all the dirt, or whatever that is, all the negative thoughts, how can any good stuff come in? How? If you don't let it all go, how are you going to bring in? How are you going to bring in? How are you going to bring anything in?
Yeah.
If you're so full of yourself, how are you going to let anything else in?
Yeah.
Because most people are just full of themselves.
Yeah.
They think they know everything. Yeah, I'm the best. I know everything, but that's all just ego. They just must remove that.
Yeah.
In order to bring happiness, joy, love. And that will reflect in your family life. That will reflect in how you behave with people. And most importantly, how you feel inside. And you can achieve anything then. If you want to lose weight, you can lose weight. If you want to go into business, you can go into business. If you want to, all of those, this will add another layer to yourself. That's all it is.
It gives you an additional dimension. So I know what else can people do outside of meditation to kind of tame those thoughts and find that inner love? I mean, what was your journey to that like?
Okay, so for me, I looked for lots and lots of answers. I literally, for me personally, I couldn't find anything. Nothing I could find out there was giving me any happiness. My business life was in a mess. Everything was in a mess. I couldn't find any answers. And then, I relate it back to the inner journey again. I went into my meditative state and meditation, and that helped me in everything. So that took me away from my lower self, which brought me into my higher self. And then I was able to, redo my business up again, take it to even stronger levels. I found people were just entering my life out of the blue. I mean, we call it mysticism because obviously this is all to do with, again, it's mysticism, and it's esoteric science, and it's sort of transcendental. So you transcend who you want to be, and magic just seemed to happen for me. It's sort of all my problems just, once I surrendered fully, once I gave all my problems away, and I just said, listen, that's it. I gave every single thing away to through meditation, through thought, through surrender. It just changed. Magic just happened. Once I reconnected with myself, I was able to make all the phone calls again. I was able to sort of, reignite everything. I was more stronger than I've ever been in my entire life. Let me tell you something. I'm stronger now than I've ever been in my entire life. I'm more connected now because I have the knowledge. And anything is achievable. There is nothing that you can't do. Everything's opened up. I mean, there's so much work out there now.
Yeah.
I mean, I just literally, I don't have, there's so many opportunities will just come to you. They will just come. The universe will give them to you. And then it's up to you how you want to handle them.
So you have multiple businesses, and you're very, very successful, Anu. And everything that you've achieved has been through coming through those dark times to where you are now, where you would feel enlightened is the word.
That's exactly it.
That positive mindset that you carry, and that love that comes from within through everything that you do. What does your day-to-day look like as you carry yourself through your business to keep on that level and to keep your mind on that level? Because we're not all on linear journeys. This is, the mind, we're going to have good days, we're going to have bad days, we're going to have issues, we're going to have problems. What do you do, and how do you use your practice to keep that kind of equilibrium?
I think it's a natural. It's natural. It becomes you. You become this higher state of being. It's just an amazing place to be. You wake up each morning. You sort of look at each business. You spend whatever time you need to within each business, and you're able to manage your time better. So, I've installed people around me, the correct people around me, to help me manage these businesses, teams, and so that's what it sort of helped me to do. And so
it's kind of a continuous journey, right?
You just, once you've entered this sort of state of yourself, this positive frame of mind, this it just everything becomes natural. You become natural.
Yeah.
So you just become grounded. You become
becomes habitual, doesn't it? It becomes
you
part
become
of you.
easy. You become calm. You become, each business, you give it the time it deserves. And if there's problems, you're able to see them before, because you get this higher state of it's, what's the word I'm looking for? You can see things clearer.
Do you feel more aware?
You're more aware. Yeah, that's the word. Actually, actually, that is the word. It's awareness. Actually, what meditation is, and again, the science of oneself is awareness. That's actually what it is. In everything you're doing, when you're eating, you're aware. When you're drinking, you're aware. If you're at a pub with friends, you're aware. If you're sort of in your business world, you're aware. If you're at the gym, you're aware. Everything is awareness. Very, very good point. So awareness is very big.
That awareness, I guess, from everything that you've said so far, the way you've described it, it's encompassing everything that you need to do in your day-to-day life, and interpreting or putting into in a way which can only have a positive outcome. So I love that you mentioned what you eat, your sleep, how your energy around people, how you speak to others. and it's interesting because you said what I was going to ask. You being in this this aware state has now brought similar people to your life who now that's now your support network through, whether it be Shazad, whether it be through your business.
What will happen is once you enter this state, all of the negative people around you will automatically leave. It will just be a natural process, and positive people will come to you. You will naturally be attracted to these type of people. You will be sitting somewhere and you will know immediately that I don't like this person, or it's not, it won't, but you won't feel horrible about it. You will just know, look, I just want to keep my distance.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Once you enter this state, you will see that only because you yourself have become clear water, you yourself have cleared your thoughts, you don't attract the wrong people. Because you have become divine, you have connected with yourself, you yourself have made change. So what will happen is if you're in that, always drinking or always in that negative, you're going to attract negativity. Simple as that. And if you remain in a good state of being, you will attract good people. And the negative, if you affirm the positive, the negative just automatically will leave. So the more you need to do is affirm the positive, affirm the truth, be with the truth at all times, whether it's wrong sometimes, whether you have to sort of, whatever it is, but you be with the truth at all times, and then you will see your world open up. You will see opportunities just come your way. You will just, it will just happen. Your life will just progress very nicely. You will enjoy your life, because that's the most important thing to do, is enjoy who you are.
Exactly.
Enjoy this life.
Exactly.
God, or whatever, he didn't create us to be sad. He created us to be joyful, happiness. And it takes time. Don't get me wrong. You have to pass through all of this. It's not easy, but you can win, is what I'm trying to say. You can win this battle.
I think you have to make room for it. You have to clear out the negativity to make room for the positivity.
It's the most important
and then
thing.
as you progress, these paths open up. And I'm speaking from my own experiences, and obviously learning a lot off of you, Anu. These paths open up and opportunities appear. And I know it might sound... There's an element of mysticism to it, and people might sit there and think, well, this is going back to like manifestation and stuff like that. But I'm a firm believer in the power of the mind is...
Let me tell you,
immense.
I was a complete non-believer of this stuff. I'm brought up in this country, westernized, didn't believe in anything, okay? Nothing. But let me tell you something, this stuff works. This stuff is real, okay? And I'm telling you factually, you will see it happen. Don't be scared. We are educated to religion, the world. It teaches us not to be scared of this stuff, and to be scared of oneself, and to be scared of this side of magic, mysticism, whatever you want to call it. But no, it is all it is simple energy.
And that's exactly what it is energy.
It's nothing else but pure truth.
That's right.
Honesty, correctness. That's all this is. And if you remain in that side, you that's all you need to do. There's nothing else that is required, and that will bring love, that will bring peace, that will bring you everything you need. And actually, and when the dark days do come, because even as you progress, there's going to be problems going to keep hitting you. They're going to keep coming. But this will give you I call it like a shock absorber within yourself. So you build up you have an internal shock absorber.
It's the resilience.
So you're able to sort of deal with the shocks and don't react, and you will remain in that calmness, whatever it is, because ultimately, you have to, we're all here for a period of time, we're all traveling together, we're all sort of, it's a very short life.
It is. And how do you want to live
life.
that life?
I mean,
what do you want as an individual to live in the 60, 70 years, max 80 years,
Just
whatever we
love.
have.
We
on
just
this.
need to
We just
find
want love and
ourselves.
happiness and peace of mind. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. We can look at, financial rewards. You're having the best car, the best watch, the best house. But ultimately, what gives us that inner peace and that happiness is not necessarily that. And that doesn't mean you have to look at it from a spiritual perspective or a religious perspective. You touched on something a couple of times today, which is when we are taught as children or growing up about religion, we're taught from we're taught from a base of fear. So I remember being taught about my religion growing up. If you do this, this will happen. If you do this, this will happen.
It's business with God. Look, what it is that when you're praying, prayer, you're saying, I'll give up this and you give me this.
Yeah.
Okay? It's business.
It's transactional.
It's
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
You shouldn't do business with God.
Yeah.
Who are you to do business with
That's
God?
right. Exactly that.
Right?
Exactly
So
that.
so
Yeah.
what you need to do is just remember him. That's all he wants.
Yeah.
He doesn't want anything else. Or remember yourself. That's all it is. Remember who you are, where you came from.
Yeah.
But so yes, you're spot on with that.
So, I mean, when it comes to religion, when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to any kind of belief system, it all, even if you're an atheist or an agnostic, it all comes back to what's inside of you. That's true spirituality, is you come first. I mean, my perception of that and what helped me a lot was something that one of my religious teachers told me, which was, when we're created, we are inanimate, and God blows what we call his ruh, which is our basically our essence, our soul, into us to make us come alive, which means that God is always within us. And when I heard that the first time, it really hit me, because it's like, so what I'm actually trying to achieve and what I'm actually trying to gain in my life through my spiritual journey is inside of me already. So I need to start off with what's inside of me.
Well done.
And that, that's my journey. That's my, that's my outlook on it. But ultimately, it doesn't change the fact that for anybody out there, the journey always starts from within. You need to take that step. You need to love yourself. You need to tame your thoughts.
You see, life, when we're born, we're given a name, we're given a label. We're told that we go out into the world, we have to learn everything, learn history, geography, learn this, learn that. We're never taught about learning about ourselves.
Yeah.
That's just the way the world is. By the time a child is 8 years old, it has learnt everything about colour, taste, smell. It's learnt everything by the time it's 8 years old. And then it's told, go out and study, go and do all of these things, and we're told what to do. But we're never ever, we're never told about the inner self. We're never told about what makes us tick. We're just educated that wealth, you're judged on wealth, you're judged on your degrees, you can go and study as much as you want in the world. How about studying who you are?
These are all competitive metrics. The mindset is then pushed towards being competing and pushing to be better than somebody else. So actually, when you stop doing that, and you look back into yourself and only compete with today against yesterday.
Well, that's exactly it. Because look, see, today was born out of yesterday, and the day before was born out of that, and that was born. So it's just everything is a consistent journey. So everything is action and reaction. So we must try and educate. Now, if I was to change things, I would install within schooling systems, I would install a time for children to spend time with themselves, meditate. I would ask them to sort of, instead of always the world, money, get, strong, do this, do that. How about your own being? How about your own inner strength? How about connecting with yourself? How about spending a little bit of time in that direction, in your, inner journey, and looking at who you really are. And I think that's what I would like to do. You know,
I
I
So-
think
yeah.
it's about asking them the right questions. Since you've been speaking, that one thing is popped into my head, especially and I can say in my years of education, I don't think I was ever asked by a lecturer if I was happy,
Yeah.
and I think that is
Unbelievable.
shocking.
You see, but see, only that is very shocking, and nobody cares. That's
Nobody
what I'm trying to
cares.
say. The only one that cares, it's you.
Yeah.
You're the only one that no one can care for you the way you can.
Mm.
And if you don't care for yourself, you know, what was the point? What's the point of anything? You got to care for yourself, and you got to love yourself. Otherwise, if you don't do that, life becomes very hard, and it becomes painful. You don't need to live in that pain. You don't need to, you can get to know who you are, fall in love with yourself, then nothing can bother you, nothing can touch you. And even if it does, you will still be able to deal with it better.
Mm.
You'll be able to. So yes, what a very good point you raised.
There are, a lot of people, and obviously everybody watching need to understand that, some mental health issues and need to always be addressed by professionals,
Hmm.
and you need to have an assessment before any of these journeys, unless you're fully confident in the fact that something that we're talking about today, you're able to take that step, because the power of the science of oneself and the impact of that on your life can be tremendously positive. And you said it earlier, it can start you off on a journey where it allows you to be physically fitter, or better in business, or better in your personal life, better within the relationships that you have. But there are people out there that should seek medical professional advice first and foremost. But to take this journey is a beautiful thing. I mean, we were discussing earlier on where it's been difficult for me to maintain my own practice over the last few months, and where kind of work and projects and everything that we're doing is kind of superseded. But it's reminded me that I need to link back. I need to go back and find that, fill that inner void that's slowly starting to grow again, because I'm not paying it attention. I'm not paying attention to my inner
To
self.
yourself. No, you're not.
And I think that's extremely, extremely important. Even if you're not in a negative mind state,
You must do
just to
it.
be able to kind of reattach to oneself and to find your true self and stay loyal to yourself.
If you do that, Shazad, you will find everything will work for you.
Yeah.
Everything just will work. Your business life will work. If you want money, you can achieve money, but it will be for the right reasons. And you must not lose that drive. Don't get me wrong. Your drive in life must be to be the best of who you are. And each business that you do, you must give it 100%.
Yeah.
And you must, and that's what this inner journey will teach you, to give everything 100%. And what it will also teach you is, when things that are not right for you, you will have the ability to say no. You will have the ability to choose what is right for you, because you know what is right for you. So you will only take in good things. And so yes, this is very important.
I think something you just said, actually, being able to say no.
Yeah, it's a very, very tough thing. So what happens is, sometimes we can be in a situation where we're out somewhere and we're sitting with friends, and all of a sudden we're happy, and we agree to something that not necessarily that we at that moment we sort of say, yeah, we'll do it, we'll meet you, we'll sort of we'll meet next week, or we just agree to something, but inside we're not really liking that decision, right? But when we go home, we then beat ourselves up. Why the hell did I don't even want to, I shouldn't have done that, And but at that, so what this will give you is the ability to say no at that point, because you know that's what's right for you. So when you go, that's the ability to be able to say no. It's not hard to say no, it's hard to say no to people.
But why do we lose the inability to say no? How does that? Where does that come from a negative mindset? Because I'll be honest with you, when I look around and I see a lot, and I was like this, right? And when I see other people in negative mind states, we want to people please.
That's exactly
Well,
it.
that's it,
You
isn't it?
named it. You named it in one, because you're not. All you're doing is trying to. You're
It's
being
your
a
ego.
joker.
You're not doing it to please
ego.
yourself. You're doing
yeah.
it to please
You're just
somebody
there.
else.
You're trying to be nice to everyone. You can't be nice to
That's
everyone.
right. That's
You
right.
just got to remember that. You got
yeah.
to be nice to yourself.
It's
Forget it. I mean, the
Yes.
others. It will. You will naturally be nice because you're nice to yourself.
Yeah.
So you're naturally nice.
Yeah.
So people will attract to you. It will just be natural, and you will be real.
Yeah.
So when you sit when I'm sitting with you here today, or it's real. You know what I mean? You're not just, there's no personas, and that will be you. You will
That's
remove
right.
the masks.
Yeah.
See, as we progress through life,
How
we
long-
build up all these masks. There's so many of them. There's so many of these masks that are there that we don't even know about. And once we get to become more in tune with ourselves, all the masks are removed, and we are just we. We're just who we are. So, whether people like it or they don't, that's fine.
That's right.
You know
That's
what I mean?
fine. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
just the way it is,
Exactly.
because we are in the truth.
Yeah.
We are happy. We are telling, but we are honest. And there's, you may be incorrect, but I am correct in my thoughts and in my beliefs, and that's why I'm able to deal with life properly and deal with myself correctly. And
The
thoughts.
power of no. It also, I mean, if you're constantly agreeing to things and trying to please people around you, you're actually taking your eye off the most important thing, which is
What a
yourself.
waste of energy.
It is a waste of energy.
What a total
absolutely,
waste of
yeah.
energy. Do you
Yeah.
realize how much energy we
Yeah.
waste around people?
That's right.
I mean, how about focusing a little bit of energy back to yourself? We waste time on too much nonsense, too much talking, too much chitter-chatter.
It's ego
Too
and
much-
validation.
too
Anu.
much
It's
trying to-
what it comes down
Yes,
to.
but then, yes, correct. And it's not our fault, it's the way of the world.
Yeah.
But we have to, once we get to know ourselves, we will recognize that ego. So the ego will just keep coming.
Yeah.
It's in many forms.
Yeah.
It's, when ego is a big word, it can be in, there's so many different types of,
That's right.
of it. But we will keep, once we sort of get to know ourselves, we won't allow it to enter. And then no negativeness can come, because pain, problems, worries, they're all worldly things. Everything, all of that is all in the world. It's not within ourselves. They're all worldly issues, aren't they? Worries, this problem, money problem, can't go out. It's all to do with the world.
Yeah.
But there's also nothing's inside of you. It's all here.
Yeah.
So if we just keep that inner side of ourselves completely clear, and like a rock, like for example, if you keep a rock and water will come over, it will just go over the side of
Yeah.
it. So we have to make ourselves really strong and do that. It will help you all.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Amazing.
Blown away.
This has
Blown away. I mean,
been.
You've kind of helped me think about where I actually was, and I've just realized at the end of this podcast that spiritually and mentally, I miss being where I was a few months ago, where I was meditating on a regular basis. I have my practice. I'm a Muslim, as you know, so I was praying a lot more regularly, and speaking to you actually makes me miss that. It makes me miss that,
What I'll say
because
is, right, so do one thing. What will happen is, if you do enter this domain, you will find religion will just drop away, because you will realize that religion is great. It's great. There's no problem. It's fine. But this is you. Like, for example, you can keep it simple. You don't, you can do, so all those religious texts and words can be just amalgamated in one thing, one word. You can use one word, and that will just, you will change. You just will see how you rise. You'll become clever, knowledgeable. You won't
it's all inside.
because you blame God then for everything. You blame the blame isn't. That's what's everything is you. You blame yourself for everything.
Yeah.
There's no blame. There's no wrong or right. It's just who you are. It's just how your life has been. It's acceptance.
Yeah.
Acceptance of at that point I did that wrong. Or that was not right. Acceptance of each stage of your life, and
I think acceptance and self-forgiveness.
big time.
Yeah, self-forgiveness.
Absolutely. You have to sort of not. You have to accept it for what it was. That situation happened. I didn't mean it for it to happen, but I can't change it. I can only change now what I am, my thoughts at this moment.
Yeah.
So
this is the thing. We can't control what's happened.
well,
we
if you
can't
live in the
change what's
past,
happened.
you live in depression.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If you live in the future, you
Yeah,
live in anxiety.
yeah.
And if you live in the present moment, you live in complete happiness.
Because I am. That is who we are. We are, which is what we are right now.
I promise you.
Anu, thank you so much for coming on today.
Maybe I've
It's
talked too
been
much.
amazing.
No, it's
It's
been
been enlightening, and I think it's gonna definitely resonate with a lot of people out there. That the science of oneself is about love for yourself, taming your thoughts, being able to do that through meditation. But you need to start your inner journey and find your inner self and find who you are before those that positivity, that road to positivity opens up in front of you.
100%.
And I think that's the message today. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
Anu.
so much.
Thanks for inviting me on.
And no worries at all. That's the end of episode 7. And we hope that you found that content amazing. Like, subscribe, share. And next week we'll be bringing on another entrepreneur with another story. So we hope you look forward to that.
Take care, guys.